So today we have a web session about how to speed up your Revit content management and accessibility with the new power. Actually, today I'm going to cover 4 products for browsing the families and for managing them. And at the same time, today I will try to explain the main differences between those browsers. And at the same time, we have released a new version. So I would like to point and to show the main things, what we have added into the new version, into the new release. So first of all, my name is Renata Iociene, and I'm application engineer, and today I will be hosting the session. Building BIM together is our mission, and we create solutions for continuous BIM acceleration based on the experience of the most advanced Revit users. And we are operating since 1988, and we are Autodesk authorized developers, and at the moment we have clients in more than 129 countries. So reducing BIM stress, we help make it easier to bring BIM to the life by eliminating tasks that do not create value. In this session, you will know how to browse, control, and manage Revit families quickly and easily. So in general, you will know how to find the families in the library by parameter name or the values or the version, how to modify existing parameters for a bunch of for some group of the families, how to modify, delete new types, how to add new shared parameters, how to rename types, how to modify existing parameters in different ways, how to assign omni classes, for example, and so on. We have solutions that are very good for the private users and for the companies, for the small companies. So in the left side in the corner, you can see that for the private Revit users and for the small companies, we would suggest to have Smart Browser, which is free of charge, and then Smart Browser Manage for managing parameters and parameter values. And for the big companies, we provide solutions, so the name Smart Browser Manage, so for managing families, then Smart Browser Power and Smart Browser Simple. Later on, I will describe the differences between those installations. So first, I would like to start with solutions for browsing and for searching families. So here we can go with Smart Browser, which is free of charge, and then Smart Browser Power and Simple. In general, all those 3 browsers, they provide you to find families in the external library or in your computer or in the server, then find the types, look them, overview them in 2D and 3D views, and then easily drag them into the project. And then the benefits with using the free version is that you can very easily, it's very easy to use, and it's really time-saving product because you can save your time on finding and searching the families, and at the same time there's no money to invest. And then for the content management, for managing parameters and parameter values, we provide Smart Browser Manage. And the Smart Browser Manage, it's very good for, it does the same things as the free version, but at the same time, you are able to modify parameters and parameter values of the families, and at the same time, it's very easy to adapt it in real time to the new LOD specifications, object standards, and record model needs. Okay, and the most benefits of Smart Browser Manage is that 50% more time saved and it's very incredible performance, increased working with Revit families, and it's very easy to control the process. You will be always sure that your project is up to date, and you will not make errors in modifying the families, because you will do the tasks for the bench of families, for some group of the families. Okay, so now I would like to start with the project. And you know that when you start with a project, and if you want to load additional families into the project, you have to go to Insert, Load Families, and here you can just go through them catalogs, and usually the families, they're grouped in the separate catalogs, and what you can get here, you can get just a small image of the family, and that's it. So in general, you don't know what kind of parameters you have in the family. At the same time, you don't know, you're not sure if this family is really suitable, would really suitable be in this project, and you don't know how it looks really. So we have, that's the reason why we have created Smart Browser for browsing the families, and we can take a look into our Smart Browser. As you can see here, if we are opening the family, I mean, if you were selecting the family, we can get everything. So we can see the types which are created in the family. We can get, and we can see parameters and parameter values. We can understand if parameter is displayed with a blue color, then this parameter is shared. If the value is displayed with a gray color, then you can know that this parameter is type parameter. If it's white, then you can understand that this is instance parameter value. So you can very easily see the formulas and different other things which are included in the family. At the same time, you can very easily take a look and just find the 3D view, and just go to the 3D view and select and just check how it's really created. At the same time, you will able to change the views into the plan view or into the left side view, and just to make sure if this family is really suitable for you. And when you want to load it into the project, you just need to use drag and drop, and the family will be automatically loaded into the project, and you will be able to put it somewhere in your project. And Smart Browser, it always works like external application, so you don't need to close and to open this dialog each every time. So this dialog will work separately from the project. Now let's start from the beginning, and actually let's try to prepare the sample library. So this is my sample residential library, and let's try to use it in the Smart Browser. So what would be the steps? First, you have to go to the browser options, and then you have to select location where exactly your library is located. Okay. So yeah, we have to select the library. And then the tool automatically will create additional XML files. So this XML file will contain all information about the families and parameters and parameter values. And at the same time, you have just to select the catalog for additional DWF files and PNG files. So for that, you can have a separate, you can create a separate catalog if it's necessary. And after pressing start, you just have to add the company name, then the person name who's trying to read this information, and after pressing OK, now the tool will read all information about the families. So this process will take some time. So you have to pay attention into this, and you have to make this process and to load this process maybe per night or in the evening or during the weekend, because now the tool opens every family from the library and it reads every information. So in such case, the Smart Browser will know everything about the family, about parameters, parameter values, about the categories, the versions, and so on. At the same time, the tool is creating additional PNG and DWF files. So yeah, so we have to wait a little bit, and we see that now it's finishing. And actually, anytime you can cancel this process, the tool will save the current amount of the families. And next time, for example, next day, you can continue reading or you can continue synchronization process. Okay, so that's it. We have those families, and now we are ready to open Smart Family Browser. And now we get those families. Okay, and again, we can see everything. We can get parameters, parameter values, we can get the formulas, and we can just make a better decision and for understanding if this family is really suitable for us. And now let's take a look into the left side of the tree. Here actually we can see the folders, but sometimes the folder system is not so very convenient. So we can just switch on and change it. We can switch on the categories and, for example, then the host type. So after pressing OK, now the tool automatically grouped those families according to the category and then the host type. Or we can just very easily change the order. Maybe first we would like to see the host type. So here we can get, for example, all wall-based families, and then we can very easily filter them by the real category. So in such case, you will always be sure that this is all your wall-based lighting fixtures, which are loaded into which you have in the library. And then again, if you want to have this family in the current project, use just drag and drop, and that's it. The family will be automatically loaded, and again, Smart Browser will work like external application. In such case, you can have different libraries. Like in our case, I can point and I can say that Smart Browser should use my default metric or imperial library, then the library from the server, which is common library in our company. And let's take a look into the bigger library. So this is the default Revit metric library. So now the tool opens the library with more than 2,000 families. Okay, and again, now the tool groups those families according to our system. So now the families will be grouped. Yeah, so there are more than 2,700 families, and now we can just very easily filter all elements which are wall-based. Let's say, or lighting fixtures which are wall-based, or plumbing fixtures. As you can see from the picture, it will be very difficult to understand, for example, if the family is, for example, such family, if this is face-based or wall-based. Well, from the first view, I would decide that this is maybe face-based family, but as we can see, this is really wall-based family. Okay, so here you can very easily make a decision and just find the elements which you need. At the same time, you can make additional search according to parameter name, for example, which contains, or maybe it doesn't equal, or ends with some value. So let's say parameter name contains material, and parameter value, let's say, contains steel, and let's make a search in all the catalogs. And after making search, the tool automatically will find all families. So in this case, we have 295 families with a parameter name which contains material and parameter value which contains steel. Okay, so in such case, it's very easy to group the families and at the same time to filter and to search the families according to parameter name or parameter value, the family name or the type or maybe the version. Okay, so now let's come back again to my previous residential library, and now I would like to group it, for example, maybe according to the version and the category. I'm sorry, not the version, but the unit system, because sometimes if you would like to use only metric elements, so now you can be sure that here I'm using only metric families or maybe imperial families. So all those features, what you saw, you can find in the free version and in the Smart Browser Manage, in the most powerful version of Smart Browsers. Now, in Smart Browser Manage, the difference, the biggest and the most valuable difference is that with Smart Browser Manage, you can very easily modify those parameters and parameter values. Let's say I would like to select those 5 elements and I would like to modify them. Here I have to add modification names, so it will be, let's say, window modification. Then I have to add the name of the person who is trying to modify those families. And now I get everything in one dialog. So I get the categories and the families and the types displayed in this dialog. And now I can just make changes. I can see that in my case I have selected 4 windows and 1 door. Okay, and let's select additional parameters which we want to modify. In such case, and actually in the new Smart Browser Manage version, you can see that the difference in this version is that we have added here colors for being sure and for better understanding which parameters are family parameters, like for example the Omni class or a shared parameter or the host, for example, or always vertical. Those are common and family parameters with which changes for the total family. Then we can see instance parameters, and then we can see type parameters. So in such case, maybe those I don't need to see like description and the type comments, but let's say I would like to add additionally those 2 parameters, then maybe the Omni class parameter. Then let's say I would like to add the width and height. Okay, and maybe some more parameters. Yeah, like maybe those. Okay. Also, I can change the order just for better understanding what I have here. And now we see the total. We can see the differences between selected families and the types. And we can see very easily that, for example, some parameters they do not have like those cover parameter. So for example, this family doesn't have such cover parameter. So what we can do, we can just very easily add such parameter, and we can very easily make changes with the right-click menu. As you can see, with the right-click menu, we can change values, we can modify the category, we can modify the type, we can rename the type, we can delete type, then we can make changes with parameters. We can add additional parameters, or we can modify the formulas. So first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to add selected parameters. So we have right now, we're adding the task that this family is going to have such a cover parameter. Okay. Now let's say if we're not satisfied with the cost value, so again I can just filter the families I want. Yes, and now let's change cost parameter for those 2 filtered families. Okay, again the tool shows that this shows those values with a green color, so we can understand that we're trying to modify the values. At the same time, if I would like to add the formula, let's say to manufacturer parameter, so again you can very easily go with right click and we can say that we would like to add the formula, and we have to add the formula, let's say, to the manufacturer. Okay, and now we can see that we're trying to add the formula here. Now, if we would like to change the category, we can see that this family, it is created under the door category. Sometimes it happens, and sometimes it happens by mistake. So in such case, we can very easily modify the category with a new version. So we can go to the modify category, and then we can say that this is really actually window, not the door family. Okay, and also with a new version, we added possibility to modify Omni classes. So here I can get the list of windows which are right now in this OmniClass table. Actually, if you want, you can use your own OmniClass table, which is more common for you, but right now I'm using just regular and general OmniClass. Yes, so I'm going to select different OmniClass number very easily. Now we can also modify the type names. You see that sometimes the type names there actually don't look nice, and maybe we did a mistake in some cases. As you can see here, I have such height, and the height in the type is not the one which is used in the type name. So again, you can very easily modify and make a standard in the type naming. So again, I'm going to select the column and go to rename type name by the rule. Actually, you can rename them manually, but it's more convenient to use parameter values. Let's say we're going to use the width and height. Okay, we're adding the suffix here and maybe millimeters in the end. So after pressing OK, now the tool will change the type names, and the type names will contain the real width and height values which are created and which are used in the family. Then, if we would like to add additional shared parameters, so again, we can select all those families, go to Add Shared Parameter, and now I'm going to select Shared Parameter File. Okay, and I'm going just to select this parameter, and also with the new version of Smart Browser Manage, we added possibility to predefine the formula directly in this value, like default formula. So in such case, I'm going to use width and divided by 2. For example, it will be a second width. So this parameter I'm going to use later in the families. So here I have right now possibility to add a formula which will be default formula for those families. Okay, so after adding the tasks and after making changes, once again, for example, if I would like to delete parameter, so again, I can just remove parameter and can say that maybe in such family, this parameter is not suitable. So I can add the task and say that this parameter should be deleted. So okay, after making those changes, we can close the dialog, we can save this process. The tool will remember all those steps. We can close the dialog, and now we can run the process. We can go to the Run Save Modifications. We can just choose modification, which we did just a few minutes ago. And now after pressing OK, the tool will open every family and will make those changes. So it will create it will change the category, or it will apply the OmniClass, different OmniClass, or it will change the cost, or it will delete some parameters, or it will create additional parameters, or like we did with the manufacturer parameter, we have added the formula. Okay, so the tool now makes all those changes automatically. So in such case, you can avoid mistakes. You will not need to modify the families manually one by one, and you will be always sure that the families are correct. So all those are created according to the right standard. Okay. So the tool now is finishing with modification, with modifying those families. Okay, those families were modified successfully. Okay, if there were some problems in the modification process, the tool will let you know in the separate dialog. So also this is a really detailed description and about every step, what the tool did in every family. So if there are any modifications, you will be able to see in the separate text file. So also this is a new feature of Smart Browser Manage. And now we can go to the Smart Family Browser, and we can just take a look. We can see, we can get the differences, and we can see the changes. So as you can see, the parameter, additional shared parameters created with the default formula. At the same time, all the types, they look nice and they look good actually. Then we have added the formula to manufacturer parameter, and so on. So now we can see that all our families, they are modified according to our rules. Okay, and now what else we can do with our browsers? We can we can also work with the families which are loaded and which are used in the project. So we have here created project family browser. So with project family browser, you can very easily filter and see the families separately grouped according to the real category. It's especially very handy if you work with a central model and with MEP engineers, with structural engineers. So sometimes there are a lot of different families loaded into the project, and sometimes it's very difficult to select the family which you want. And at the same time, it's very easy to transfer the family from one project to another. So in general, you can open two projects, and still, as you can see, project family browser works like external application. So I can just see and I can modify, I can just use families which are right now in my project one, but I can come back to my previous project and I can say that maybe, for example, such family I would like to have in my current project. So I can very easily use drag and drop, and the family will be automatically loaded into the current project. Okay. At the same time, also what we added into the new Smart Browser Free and all Smart Browsers, it doesn't matter if it's managed or Smart Browser Free, we have added possibility to create subcategories automatically and to add subcategories into the families. So if we're opening the family, we can automatically create subcategories. You know that when we have the properties, there are subcategories in the family, and if we would like to add subcategories which are standard or which are common in your country, so you can go to the create subcategory, and the tool will give you the list of the most popular subcategories. And actually those subcategories, they are standard subcategories which are used right now in Australia. And if we need to add, and for example, if we need to say that for all our furnitures we need to use such subcategories because such subcategories are the standard subcategories, we can use them, but at the same time we can apply and we can assign line weight, for example. After pressing OK, now the tool will load automatically those 9 additional subcategories. And next time, when I'm working with a family, I can very easily select the subcategory and assign it to the solid. Okay, and at the same time, in the Manage and Object Styles, yes, here we will be able to get and to see those subcategories with projection line weights, with modified line weights. Okay, and also there are more additional features like the receive families to the current Revit version or create additional shared parameters in the project. So there are such smaller possibilities. Maybe I will not talk about them too much. So right now I would like to come back to the slides. So if we talk about the licensing option, we have actually 2 of them. If we talk about regular browsers for the users which are just browsing the families, so we have a standalone licenses for the Smart Browser Free, which is free of charge. And actually, like we talked before, the Smart Browser Free, it goes mainly for the private users and for the small companies. So as you can see with this browser, you will be able to browse the families, to load them into the project, and you will be able to have project family browser possibility. And if we talk about Smart Browser Simple and for about the network, actually it goes for the companies with over 20 Revit users. And here we have a network license for those 2 browsers. And as you can see from the From the first view, it looks the same. I mean, still you have possibility to browse the families and to load them into the project. But the difference is that the simple user, he can use only the company library, and the power user, he can use the families from the company library or from any other library. And there are the differences between the Smart Browser Simple and Power. Maybe I will not talk too much about them, because you will be able to download those slides and to read about them more. Because in the GoToWebinar dialog, you will be able, and you can actually now, you can find those slides with this detailed information. But I would like to focus on the solution for the companies with over 20 Revit users. So if your company has more than 20 Revit users, we would suggest to have Smart Browser Managed, then Simple and the Power, which are network licenses. And let's say here we have the families somewhere in the server. So the power user, he will be able to use the company library, and at the same time he will be able to make synchronization process. He will be able to add additional families into the library. I mean, the power user, he will be able to control XML file which contains all information about every object. And the simple user, he will be able just to use company library, and that's it, without any possibility to make any synchronization process and without any possibility to use their own library and their own families. Okay, and the managed user, he's the most powerful. He has mostly the same options as the power user, plus possibility to modify the families like we did today. So managed user, he can synchronize the library, he can has its own library, but at the same time he can modify the families. And the managed user, here you can select, you can choose two licensing options. It could be standalone or the network. And let's say the company, some sample company has 100 Revit users. So we would suggest that maybe about 10 users should be power users in the company. Then maybe 3 or maybe 5 users should be managed users in the company. And all others could be just Office Unlimited. All others could be just simple users. Okay? And let's just take a closer into Smart Browser Simple and Power. I mean, I just want to show the main differences. As you can see, the main difference in the browser options. The simple user, he can only select the company library. You see, the simple users, they don't have possibility to create their own library. They don't have possibility to make any synchronization process like we did today, you know. So they are only provided possibility, they have possibility just to browse and to select the existing company library, and that's it. And the power user, you see, they have all possibilities like we have used today. So they can create their own library, they can synchronize the library, they can add additional families into the library, and so on. And the managed user is totally different. So the managed user, it's the same like the power, plus all those possibilities to modify the families, to modify the families automatically, to select the families from the project. And just one more feature, what I would like to show is, which is very important and which you can find in Smart Browser Manage or Smart Browser Simple and Power, is possibility to find the differences between the families in the project and families from the library. So I would like to come back again to my previous project. Okay. And here I would like to show possibility to check and update families from library. This is very good feature. You have to open the project which you are analyzing. Then you have to pick the library. So let's say I'm going to select my common just metric library. And after start checking, now the tool will find the differences between the families in the project, in the current project, and families from the selected library. So in such case, you will be always sure that your families in the project are up to date. So here we can see the differences, and that now the tool found that there are differences in the 17 families and in the 49 types, and here you can just very easily find those differences. So if the parameters are created, or maybe if the values were changed, So now when we see the differences, we can just press on override parameter values and just reload the families. So now the tool loads the families from the library to the project, so it makes changes. And now we will be able and we will be sure that the families in the project, they are updated according to families from the library. And that's it. The families are loaded. We can just start checking again. Yeah, let's check it again if everything is loaded. Yeah, and the tool says that my project is up to date. Okay, so now I'm sure that my families, they are updated according to the families from the library which was modified, for example. Okay. So in general, we talk today about Smart Browser Free and Smart Browser Simple Power and Manage, but as you can see in this list, we have many more products in our company which we have developed. So here we have different solutions for MEP engineers like smart sprinklers or smart diffusers or our heating. Then the BIM Tree Manager is very powerful for modifying parameters and parameter values which were used in the project. Then we have wood framing solutions, which are very powerful for framing the house with adding wooden frames on your floor or on your wall. Then we have a metal framing for framing the house using the metal profiles. Then smart assemblies for working and for making shop drawings automatically. And cut opening, that's very good for making openings automatically around ducts, pipes, cable traces, and conduits, which are crossing walls, floors, ceilings, beams, and columns. Okay, and you are welcome to download tools from BIM Doc and to get the latest installation of Smart Browser Manage if you are already users of this product. So you're welcome to update. You will be able to see update button near the product. Also at the same time, please read information what is new in this version, and you're welcome to update and have the latest installation. And at the same time, for those who do not have yet Smart Browser or Smart Browser Manage, you're welcome to download the product. It's very easy to get and to activate the trial version. And for Smart Browser free version, you don't need to do any, it works permanently. So it's not a trial version, but it's a permanent version, free version. So you're welcome to download and to have it. And you can very easily download tools for BIM Doc from our webpage. So it's agacad.com, and it's very easy to download tools from BIM Doc and have it in your computer. And just once again, I would like to come back to the doc. Actually, the tools for BIM Doc, it can be combined together with your browser or with your properties, it doesn't matter. And actually in the Tools tab, you will be able to use the tool, to select the tool and to use the functionality. Okay, and in the Store tab, you will be able to download and to activate the product, or you will be able to update the product. At the same time, you will see what is expiration day of your trial or of your permanent license. Also, in the News tab, you will be able to read the latest news about the products and about some tips and tricks from the Revit. And in the Help tab, you will be able to contact us and ask questions or find help documentation. Okay, and yeah, so some more information, you can contact us directly, or you can just, you're welcome to download the free evaluation license. Come to our webpage and download the license. Okay, so thank you so much for your time. I really hope that it was interesting. And if you have any questions, please ask. You can ask the questions, and you can write the questions into GoToWebinar dialog.